In this video, I want to talk about uh, the Matrix. Before I had the Most High, how I woke up. Basically, it all started with every time I got a layoff from work for as long as I can remember. I would either ask for a layoff or they would just give me one. And back then, I had a lot of health problems, so I was always trying to find ways of I didn't have to go to the hospital and take antibiotics for anything. I was always trying to find natural ways of healing myself through herbs and different methods like that. So like kidney cleanses, liver cleanses, colon cleanses, and um, I was taking different supplements like vitamin C, different herbs and things like that for the pancreas, and doing blood cleanses, and I was just going crazy doing all these cleanses. And so basically every time I got a layoff, I would just do my own research on the internet. Like I'd be watching videos about it, I'd be reading books or just reading what other people would say, and then that's where basically it all started. And then all of a sudden, I was like, my problems ain't. I mean, they're okay. They're kind of getting good, but they ain't. And then I started doing research on water. For some reason, I would just like I felt like even back then, before I had the Most High, like He was speaking to me through those videos and through uh like the books and all the stuff I was reading on the internet. And for some reason I just got like a little voice in my head saying you need to look at the water that you're drinking. So I looked at all these like water filters and alkaline water and structural water and all these different types of water. And I bought a machine for $5,000 for an alkaline machine, and it really made me sick. It messed up my alkalinity in my body, and and then I went back to reverse osmosis, and I my health wasn't getting any better. And then all of a sudden, I discovered distilled water, and I started reading about it and how it hydrates every cell in your body and how it cleanses all the chemicals and heavy metals out of your body, and it also opens up your pineal gland. And when I started drinking that water, I was like, wow, man. And then all of a sudden I started getting gang stalked. Even way back then, I would be checking into purchasing my first water distiller was on Amazon. It was like $250, but it would only make like 1 gallon. Then I was going to the store all the time and buying, and I thought, well, it would be nice if I had one of those bigger machines. So I saved up some money, and I bought a $2,000 water distiller, and I was making like 10, 10, 12 gallons a day, and I would just like, I would save it up. So I would save it up and maybe take a shower with 5 gallons. And I noticed how my skin, it was hydrating my skin, and I started looking younger, and my hair was softer. It wasn't all hard and stuff from the hard water, and I wasn't breaking out with rashes anymore. And that was just so awesome. With distilled water, it's so powerful. It's almost like the government, they don't want us to know about it, to drink it and things like that. And then I started getting into other cleanses like colon cleanses, parasite cleanses, juicing, and then my health started getting better. I was starting to get more energized and just natural energy. And then I started getting into like fasting and stuff, but it was like intermittent fasting. It wasn't like 24 hours or 3 days or a week or whatever, a month. It was just intermittent, like one meal, OMAD diets, and juicing and smoothies, and I was all kinds of cleansings, and I started feeling really, really good. And then I noticed like even just the spirituality of it too, how it opens up your pineal. Even before you have the Most High, it's like you become aware of your surroundings. It's almost like you have a sixth sense, like intuition, and it's just hard to describe, but it's just awesome, man. That distilled water. And then I just discovered like how the gut and the brain are one. So then, you know, I would do the cleanses on that, and I just started feeling so good. And then shortly after that, I discovered semen retention, which woke me up to the spiritual world, and I was like, wow, this is like the real deal right here, you know. And it's just awesome how that is. It's like so first I think you're woken up to the 3D matrix, and then later on in life you're woken up to the spiritual world. But in order to get that far ahead, it's like you have to go through all this trauma, all this fake 3D matrix, and that's what it just seems like. I had to go through all that stuff just to get to where I am today. And it's just, to me, it's just sad with all the lies and everything that we're told. And we're told that work is so awesome, or we're supposed to be so busy with work, and then we get distracted by all this stuff like TV and music and movies and bad relationships, and then we get distracted by money and material possessions, how we start worshiping these things. And it's just like, man, it's just this, there's so much evil in this world, and people could just wake up and realize, you know, it all starts with the temple, the body, with what I believe, the distilled water. And then later on, you know, you're exposed to the spiritual side of it too. You know, it's like, just imagine that if a person took distilled water. I was thinking about this. You took distilled water, semen retention, and fasting. Oh my goodness. You wouldn't even need iodine. You wouldn't even need all these other cleanses. You wouldn't even need Ormus gold and all this other stuff that people are just hyped up on. Like, if you just did those three, you'd be fully awake. But then you would just be gang stalked hardcore, you know. But that's okay too. As long as I get to go to heaven, I don't really care if they want to watch me because of jealousy, or maybe they think I'm not supposed to be fully awake. I'm supposed to be a slave to the system. But I'm awake now, and I ain't never gonna go back to sleep. And I hope everybody that watches this video, they get some knowledge out of this. I hope everybody wakes up, you know, to the fake world that we're living in. And that's all I gotta say, I guess. And have fun.